Hello students, in last video lecture we studied section 2 poetry, third poetry, the inch cap of rock. In that lecture till 12 stanzas we completed. In today's video lecture I would like to explain next stanzas from stanza number 13 till last stanza. After that I'll explain about poetic device. So let's see stanza number 13. On the deck the rover takes its stand. On the deck the rover takes its stand. So dark it is, they see not land. So dark it is, so they see not land. Quoth Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon. Quoth Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is a dawn of the rising moon. For there is a dawn of the rising moon. According to this stanza, the rover means captain here is stations at the deck of the ship. The fog has made it impossible to sight the land from a distance. The crew of the sea is anxious and panic stricken, but rover assures them that there would be light once the moon arrives with the gentler and clearer night. Look at the next stanza. Canst hear, said one, the breakers roar? Canst hear, said one, the breakers roar? For methinks we should be near the shore. For methinks we should be near the shore. Now where we are I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. One of the seamen cries out of his anxiety as he could not make the position of the coastland as well as the ship. As the waves recede, into a mute conspiracy, he laments the fact there is no Inchcape bell to help his their fears and warn them of the nearing rocky coast. Next one, stanza number 15. They hear no sound, the swell is strong. They hear no sound, the swell is strong. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. O Christ, it is the Inchcape rock. Meanwhile, the sea got more turbulent and festive. There are no alarm bells ringing, and the wind also drops to a standstill. The boat is now in the grip of the waves as it drifts with them. And suddenly there is a loud collision that they all feared. The ship third into the Inchcape rock. It was a dawn finish to the devious beginning, the bells of justice. Next stanza. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. He crushed himself in his despair. The waves rush in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. The waves rush in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. The rower fell into a pit of his. The rower fell into a pit of his. One making the Inchcape Rock had turned into his tombstone. He was aghast at his own horrible mistake, and as the water rushed in from all corners, he knew he had reached his breaking point. He bemoaned his own sinister thoughts as his ship neared its undated end. Now the last stanza is that, but even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rover hear. One dreadful sound could the rover hear, a sound as if with the Inchcape bell, the devil below was ringing his knell. And the meaning of this last stanza is that as he breathed his last, he finally heard a bell rang in the distance. As he breathed his last, he finally heard a bell rang in the distance. He was seized with horror. The sound was of the abbot's bell at the belly of the sea. The devil at the bottom had the ball in his hand and was ringing the death knell fervently. It was the final sound of the rover's faithful demise. It was a deathly music of revenge, a song of poetic justice. Read questions about the it was the deathly music of revenge, a song of the justice. So this is very beautiful poem written by Robert Southey. Now look at the poetic device questions. Line by line I'll explain some important figure of speech poetic device. Look at the first line. No steer in the air, no steer in the sea. Here the word steer is repeated, that's why the repetition figure of speech is given here. Look at the second line. The ship was as still as she could be. Here repetition and alliteration. Here the repetition and alliteration given here because the word as is repeated and the word as sheep still sheep still and she, the word yes is repeated, that's why alliteration figure of speech which is mentioned in the second line. Next one is that her sails from heaven received no motion, her keel was steady in the ocean. Here personification and the repetition, the word her is repeated in the both lines. So here personification and repetition figure of speech is mentioned. Look at the second stanza. Without either sign or sound of their shock. Here the word s is repeated, sign and sound. So that's why alliteration figure of speech here. Next word. The waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. Here the antithesis figure of speech is mentioned because the word rose and fell, rising and falling. Opposite ideas mentioned here, that's why antithesis figure of speech. And the word they is also repeated, that's why it is repetition also. Look at the next question. Next line. Had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. Here personification figure of speech and interrogation also because the question arises. Next line. On the buoy in the storm, it floated and swung. Here the floated and swung has mentioned to the inversion figure of speech. And the next line, and over the waves its warning rung. It is alliteration because the word W, waves and warning, is repeated. Next line, when the rock was hid by the surge swell, alliteration figure of speech. Next line, the sun is heavens was shining gay. Here the sun is inhuman things, but it is like a human activities. So here the personification figure of speech. Next line, all things were joyful on that day. Here the word things and that repeated, so that's why here alliteration. The word T is repeated, that's why it is alliteration. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round. Here archaism figure of speech mentions wheeled around, archaic use here. Next line, Sir Ralph the Rover walked his deck. Archaic uses here, so archaic uses and archaism figure of speech mention. And also a darker speck on the ocean green. Here the word O, on an ocean, O is repeated, that's why alliteration also mentioned. Next line, he felt the cheering power of spring, personification figure of speech. His heart was mirthful to excess, repetition figure of speech, because in both line his heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was weakness. Here the word mirth, mirthful and mirth and was is also repeated. Next one, Dawn sung the bell with a gurgling sound. Here the inversion figure of speech and onomatopoeia figure of speech. The bubbles rose and brushed around, alliteration figure of speech. Next one, Sir Ralph the Rover sets away, alliteration, the word S is repeated. He sought the seas of many a day. Here archaic uses, so archaism figure of speech. In next line, he steers his course for Scotland shore, alliteration figure of speech. So thick heads, O are spread the sky. Here the archaic word, here archaisms mention and alliteration also mention. Next line, on the deck the rover takes its stand. So dark it is, they see no land. Here inversion figure of speech. Quote Sir Ralph, it will the lighter soon, archaism, for there is the dawn of the rising moon, tautology. Canst hear, said one, the breakers roar. Here archaisms, rhetorical question, alliteration also. For methics, we should be near the shore, inversion and alliteration. Now where we are, I cannot tell, alliteration figure of speech. Next one, they hear no sound. They hear no sound. The swell is strong, alliteration figure of speech. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along, archaism and alliteration. Till the vessel strike with a shivering shock, O Christ, it is the Inchcape Rock, apostrophe and alliteration. Next line, Sir Ralph the Rover tore his hair, alliteration. He cursed himself in his despair, archaism and alliteration figure of speech. The waves rush in every side, alliteration figure of speech. The ship is sinking beneath the tide, alliteration figure of speech. And the last stanza, one dreadful sound could the rover hear, inversion figure of speech, a sound as if with the Inchcape bell. Here the word as is mentioned, that's why it is metaphor figure of speech. So in this way, this is very beautiful poem written by Robert Southey. With this lecture, I would like to give you assignment. Some questions here. You have to just write the question answers. You have to solve first activity. You have to solve only activity 5th. Write an appreciations of the poem The Inchcape Rock. In that activity you have to write title, poet, rhyming scheme, theme, central idea, figure of speech, special features like type of poem, language, tone, etc. Favorite lines and why you like the poem. You have to mention all about that. And compose 4 to 6 lines on C. That much only I would like to give here. So only the poetic appreciations you have to write, because in that question appreciations all questions will cover. So for assignment purpose you have to write only the appreciations of the poem. Thank you.